So here we are, meeting up with Eduardo, who would like to talk to us a bit about second brain psychology and his experience with it.
Hi, my name is Eduardo and I'm an engineer. I worked in France and in the UK, and I was born in Italy, so I am half French, half Italian. And I'm here to explain why I chose this training session on second brain psychology for my personal and professional purposes. So I will start with the first and the most important thing that really surprised me, and I really learned from this training, from second brain psychology training, which is that in life there is not good or bad persons. It all depends on the situations and the context where the persons used to live, and all their history, emotional and personal and professional. So this was the most important thing, and thanks to the second brain psychology, I learned how to identify and to have an overall view of this kind of situation. So for example, it could happen that with my parents I could argue on one subject, or at work I could not understand the behavior of some person. Thanks to the second brain psychology, after the training, I understood that their behavior is not related to them that are against me personally, or just want to argue with me personally, but is due mostly because of their historic memories kept in their emotions, and of mine too. So for example, I behave in a certain way that can make them angry, but I don't know. And in the same way, they can behave in a certain way that for them is correct, but for me is not correct. And I don't know too. And so it makes the conflict. It creates the conflict. And so thanks to second brain psychology, I could identify these situations and understand how to avoid it, and especially to leave this situation more relaxed and more calm, and with a lot of serenity.
So did it make you feel better?
It made me feel better, definitely.
And would you like to just mention, shall we say, one of the core aspects of second brain psychology? Basically, all these things that you just said, where do they actually all start? Do they start in the head?
So, in fact, all these things start from the second brain, which is located in the stomach, which is the emotional brain. And thanks to the second brain psychology, we learn that we have two brains. So the first is the logic brain, and the second is the emotional brain. And so when there are some specific behaviors with persons, and some conflicts that create with person, or also some beneficial relationships with person, that could be friends, could be managers, could be the girlfriend, boyfriend, that these are related that come from the second brain, which is located in the stomach. And so thanks to the lesson, you understand, and I understood, that the second brain is a brain at all the effects. It's just based on the emotions and not on the logic. And so we identify how this brain works from a relationship and point of view. It's not technical, it doesn't go deep into the analysis of the cells, etc. But of course this is mentioned. But is mainly there is more an applicative approach, which is very useful because you can understand that, how can I say, ora mi sono perso, non si può mettere in pausa. So it is an applicative, how can I say, these allow to apply all these the second brain psychology lesson training.
It's practical. You mean it's hands-on? Practical.
It's hands-on, so it is not too. It doesn't go too deep into the technical details of the science behind it, but is practical and allows it to apply very easily in during the life.
You mean it doesn't go too deep in the course, because it does go very deep. But
Yeah,
in
the course.
And the workshops, okay.
The course itself doesn't go very deep, so it doesn't require to be an expert in the psychology domain.
Sure.
I am an engineer, so actually I should not know anything about psychology. And so this is what is very interesting. So anybody could really take this course, from a youngster to a student to an engineer or a doctor or I don't know, an artist. Anybody could take this course. So this is what I mean by can be applied very easily. It's hands-on course, and it doesn't go too deep. And actually it's even better because since it's quite simple to understand, it allows to enter in the psychology sector in a simple way, because if I take a book of psychology from random, I would get lost in the first page. While after this course, even if of course the theory of psychology there are different point of views, but thanks to the course now I can read the psychology books and have a basic knowledge and methodology to understand how it works. And so, but the difference of the second brain psychology is that it focuses on the psychological side of the second brain, and so the emotions. And so it explains and it demonstrates by experiences that I also made on my life that we definitely have a second brain and a second psychology, we could say like this, which is emotional psychology and mental psychology. So from the normal, worldwide, the mainstream knowledge is that all the emotions, all the logic is all kept in one mind, while thanks to the second brain psychology you learn that it's not like that, and we have the logic mind and the emotional mind. For example, there are situations in life where you are super stressed. For example, it happened to me with work. As an engineer, we have to give documents, to provide documents, reports in one day, and we have to hurry up. And I'm super stressed because it's very important for customers. And so I feel that I feel something in my stomach. And when I have lunch the same day, I'm not starving, while I didn't eat for all the morning. And usually I'm someone that is usually starve. And so there is something that is going on there, because it's strange that I'm not starving. And actually this is related with the second brain psychology, because the second brain is working on to, let's say, equilibrate the system which is stressed, and so all the not going deep in details, but all the processes, biological processes that are linked to the starving process are now working on the emotional process, which is the stress.
You mean on the eating process?
Yeah, on the eating process. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so this is very interesting. It really surprised me, and so it really demonstrates practically that it's not possible. It's not possible that it's strange, and this is the reason why when we are stressed, or even when we are in love, we know, everybody knows that when someone is in love, he doesn't eat anymore. This because the love is all related here, is emotion, so emotion is second brain is here. And so here we have the logic, and so it's all a matter of equilibrium, of balance between the logic mind and the emotional mind.
Which is also where the emotional memory is, of course.
And so as it's a mind that all affects, it has got a structure and a memory, as for the logic mind. And so the structure is, there are two types of structures known today, but before speaking about that, we have the memory and the structure. So the structure is the way the brain works. So the second brain works, the second mind works. Like, for example, in mentally, we have people that has got a visual memory in the logic mind, and people that has got an auditive or a vocal memory. Typically, so for example, me, I have a visual memory. So when I read books, I need to read twice or to write what I hear to remember things. And on the same side, so the second brain has got a structure which are called one pure, the other either, which means water and fire. So, and this then implicates different kind of, tendencies of behaviors, which means person with pure structure have a tendency to behave in a certain way, while person with either, so water structure, tend to behave in another way. And so this is the structure, and then you have the memory also, because as for the brain, when you see, for example, me that have a visual memory, I see things and I remember when I was a child. I go back in at my old school, and I remember, I see again all my old, how can I say, old moments where I was playing with my friends or when I was a childhood. In the same way, the second brain memorize not the visual or the auditive vocal aspect or the sensitive aspect, but memorize the emotional aspect. So when I go, I don't know, in my old college, not college, how is it in English?
Maybe?
School, yeah, when primary school, my old primary school. I because I don't know, I have child and I want to put them in the same one. So I go in the recreation room area, and I remember all my visualization when I was a child, but my second brain also remember, because of course the second brain and the mental brain, the emotional brain and the rational brain are linked, and so of course when I visualize the place and I remember all the same place but in the past, this message is given to the second brain, and the second brain also remember the emotions associated to this place. And so this is very interesting because distratto. And this is very interesting because it shows that we have two different memories. So one which is mental and one which is emotional. And when you know these things, you know that you have these kind of structures, these kind of psychologies, so the mental and splitted with the emotional, but they're linked, and that the emotional have a structure as the rational and logic, and that you have emotional memories too. When you understand all these things that can be applied and are applied to yourself and to someone else, then you understand why this person or why yourself react in some ways based on some situation. Or we have to remember that it's a tendency to behave, which is it is never, it is rare, hardly 100% of all this. How can I explain it?
That's okay. I don't think. I think when you said tendency, I think it's pretty clear.
Yeah, it's a tendency.
It gets too complicated. Would you say, how much would you say it's been helpful to you? If you were to say from 0 to 100, how helpful has it been to you in your life, in your professional life, in your personal life, in your family life?
For me, this course is it really opened my mind of this revolutionary aspect of psychology, which as an engineer, so I'm really rational, I found it 100% helpful for my career, but especially for my life in general, because it allowed me, it will allow me to be to have a view of an overall view of any relation, any interaction with persons. And I really think that the people that are able to follow this course should follow it, because I mean, they will not regret it, because in any case they will learn and apply things. It's like learning to read. I mean, there is people would say, yeah, why should I learn to read? Because anyway, I will pass my life doing manual works.
Right.
So I guess this could be said 100 years ago.
Of course.
But is the same. This is the same kind of situation where because why it's so important? Because everybody is always we are social animals, so we are all in interaction with people. So if you know how this interaction works, based on what's the language of the other person and what's your own language, emotional language, then everything, the communication is better. And
did you find that it made it easier for you even to have a relationship with yourself?
And also for myself, this was very helpful, because as I understood what was my emotional structure, that I had emotional memories that were in the second brain and not in the rational brain, and that the rational and emotional brain were linked. So when I used to see some situation that reminded me some emotions, these made me react in some ways. So when I understood all these things, I could. It's not like control, because sometimes you cannot control yourself. I mean, if you are angry or because someone tells you something, but you just make it flow, and you don't keep it on you, because
you get the bigger picture.
Because you get the bigger picture, and you know that is this situation and is an issue of communication, because you know how it works.
You're not a parent, but how do you think? How useful do you think it would be for you as a parent? Imagine you will have when you have children. What do you think it will give you when you have to understand their behavior?
So in terms of being a parent, I'm not a parent.
Not yet.
I don't have children, but yeah, there is one big part of this training. So which is so we said one is based on explaining that there is a second brain, that the second brain is emotional. So we have the rational, logical, and emotional. The emotional has a structure and a memory. So, and once we said this, a big part of the course is to apply this knowledge, especially for making grow children. And
well, not especially.
I mean,
in understanding how children grow, so that you understand how you grew and how your parents grew. I mean, the course is not for parents, though.
No, the course is not for parents. The course is not for parents, but I find that a part is very helpful for parents. So yes, I think, of course, it's not, because I'm not parent, but I found it very helpful. But because on child we find, since the child don't have the logic working on from 0 to 2 years old, they're only emotional. They have only the emotional brain working on from 0 to 2 years old. And so, thanks to this course, when you know that there is an emotional brain and it reacts and it works in some ways, as a parent, this will help you a lot, because you will communicate with your child on an emotional language.
That's right. Also,
While, yeah,
exactly, because also you don't know what temperament your child will be born with. 'Cause
exactly.
it will depend on how it's born. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Because I think you've been very clear and given people a nice, clear picture.
I thank you. I think the only thing I would add is about the parents and the useful side for parents and for children. I mean, babies more than children. It's that for sure when I will have children, I will take my lessons and read it again on the examples and the explanation about children, because now I don't use it because I don't have children. But when I will have it, it will be very helpful, because I know that, as we can see everywhere, the basic of how a children become an adult, how a baby become a children and become a baby, how a baby become a child and then an adult, is based on the education, and so you have school when they are child, but before you have the parents, so what the parents give them in terms of affection, in terms of safety, in terms of all these kind of things. And so this course really gives you the basic to understand babies and communicate with them, and knowing how they communicate. It's really a language. It's knowing another language, definitely.
Yes, it is, yeah. Okay then. Well, I think that you've covered everything.
More or less.
Is there something else you'd like to add?
If I had more things, I will make the training. So, so I think. But
I think we're okay.
yeah, I think we're okay.
All right, then. Thank you very much.